Steven, KC3DSO. I'm camping in Allegheny County, Maryland, Little Orleans, Maryland specifically, at another Potomac Appalachian Trail Club PATC cabin, and of course it's the Little Orleans cabin. It's a beautiful little spot. The road in, as you've seen, is a little, you just got to be careful with it, but it's fine. It's, you know, and the directions even say in the ice and snow you got to be a little careful. But this is the property itself here. There's my little buddy Cisco, but of course this is the road in, and you've got a rather large parking area here. I mean, you could stick quite a few cars here. Excuse me. I note in the cabin book, the overseers had to replace a couple of these. I don't know if people ran them over or what, but that's unfortunate. But you've got a nice big piece of property. This is on a 37 acres, I believe. So nice big piece of property here that's been cleared. Fortunately, just pull my truck up here, drop the tailgate, and take out whatever it is that I need. And as you can see, there's a couple of other things here I'm going to go look at today. One of them is this old cabin here. And there's a, looks like a root cellar or something over there on the left. And I'll walk around and see what else we got. They keep bird seed here, a lot of it, and they want you to feed the birds. So I've got the bucket out there, and I'm filling it up aggressively and feeding them. There's none at the, oh, there's one to swoop down at the feeder there. So this is the cabin here itself. It's very pretty, very nice. This would be very good in the fall. Very, very pretty in the fall with all the leaves on the trees changing colors and things. You can see some of the outdoor plumbing here as it's discharged from the house. And unfortunately, I missed the cutoff date by, I think, 2 days. A day or two. They just cut the water off to the shower and the sink in the shower room literally Saturday or Sunday, and I got here Monday. So no big deal. I mean, it doesn't make that much difference to me particularly. But you see the piping under there. So this is the well. And I can see where people have driven up here. I guess it's the overseer for doing work. A couple of cabins here. I mean, a couple of outbuildings. I don't know if we have a key to that one. Probably not, but we definitely have a key to this one. It's unlocked. That's where the bird seat is. It's inside this, there's a metal galvanized trash can here that they put it in. And if you can help out and cut the grass in season, it's here. The mower's here. There's probably fuel in here too somewheres. Probably in those cans there. So they asked for a little bit of help to do things. But there's hammocks, croquette kits, tiki torches. There's a good bit of stuff here. There's like a charcoal starter. Of course, wheelbarrows for wood. All right, come on, Fuzz. Get out of there. I don't know what's in there. Let's not find out. This is the wood splitting station. This is where you can do a good bit of the wood stuff. I just been sawing it. I got a saw here out, and I'm just cutting it down there next to the cabin because it's a little easier. I've been dragging it out of the woods out here on this side and bringing it up. There's a bird landed right at that feeder. Didn't realize I was here. I filled that one up too, but it was probably about 3/4. So there's the red schoolhouse, what it's been called, and that's the pooper. That's the outhouse. This is my antenna for my radio station. This is a quad band link dipole. It's here on this end, and I got it fully extended for 80. That's what I'm doing to the bulk of the time. And apex is there, the feed point up there with a little balun, right where that little bird is. You probably can't see it. And then it runs down to the other side of that tree over there. This green is one of the guy lines that comes with the kit, and that's the slick line on that winder there that I throw up over the trees with a weight and then pull it up. And that's a simple deployment. It takes literally 6-7 minutes to get it up into the air. But this is the Front of the cabin, nice little porch, Adirondack, plastic Adirondack chairs. There's some cleaning materials out front there for working. It's been pretty good weather. The first day I got here was raining cats and dogs, but other than that, it's been pretty good. Yesterday was cloudy. Now you can see some dark clouds poking up and around here, but the sun is poking through on this side, so we'll see how the day progresses. I'm gonna finish doing some other videos here today, but this is a nice piece of property. Get out of that trash! Get out of that! He's been in that dang fire pit. Oh, I see the privy sign fell over. I fixed it the other day. So let me put it back in the ground here. Really, it needs a new post there put in. Somebody posted something in the logbook that they got here at night and they couldn't find the privy. And I've done that before, not this cabin. This is my first time here, but I've had problems finding the privy myself. So a nice little reflector there. You hit it with a light and you're going to see it. But the problem is, if you shine the light from the porch, literally from the porch, the reflector, you can't see it because it's directly behind this tree. So just be aware of it if you come. It is here. As you leave the back door, it's at about a 10 o'clock position. Just go ahead and walk back and you're going to run right into it. A couple of trails here, but there's a lot of down wood in here that could be harvested. They have some hookups here for the hammocks here and there, which is a really nice spot under this tree. Be a good spot to sleep one night. Nice picnic table. So this is a good area here. It's really a nice spot. It's really nice. Ash pit is over here. Power lines are here, so if you're erecting any kind of antennas, you want to avoid the area on this side. Cellar access here, which I doubt if we have a key. The antenna is, let me see if I can get out of the sun here. A feed point is up there in that tree, and of course the one leg comes down this way over there, and a simple cable runs here. This is 174 on this end, and then I put a 25-foot section of 174 on this end. I'm running HF, so the attenuation is pretty low, and it just runs into the window here, and right into the back of the tuner. Actually, there's a satellite antenna there, so I was playing with that earlier. So let me go ahead and finish walking around here. And this is pretty much it. Exhaust for the wood stove. We do the insides there in just a couple of minutes here. There's some neat stuff here to explore, that's for sure, as you can see. Come on, Fuzz. And here comes my dog. My 12-year-old German Shepherd I found running along the Capitol Beltway when he was 4 months old. Good boy. You got to be easy now. Easy. You got bad paws. We have to put you to bed here in just a bit. Give you some medicine and let you relax. Yeah, this is pretty neat. So I'm going to walk through here and walk over there and take a look-see at what's going on. And see a couple of signs there. I don't know what the story is with that, but we'll go take a quick look see here in a bit. Okay, so let's go over the inside of the cabin. They have some tools out here on the porch. It's a very nice little porch. You can sit out here and you can drink your coffee and watch the birds on the feeder. So it's very nice. There's a bow saw that was here, some mops and things like that. The wood pile, they have a little bit of split wood here. So what I've been doing is I've been cutting my own, and once you get it started, I just keep feeding this stuff here, and you don't have to use the split wood. The only time I'm using the split wood is to restart the fire because it's nice and dry. But other than that, everything is being used here with the stuff that I'm cutting. Little table, outside outlet, which is kind of nice. There's a second door here. I never even opened this, but this goes into the room where I guess the living room, where the wood stove is located. This window it's open because I'm using it to adjust the temperature inside. sometimes the wood stove, when I put a couple pieces of wood in the unit, have it turned down, the vents closed, it gets pretty hot. It's too hot for me. So, hi buddy. Hi. So when you, watch out buddy, you stay, watch out, what's your paw? So this is normally locked hasp here, and of course this is the key that you've got, the same keyed, the same lock as the one that's on the gate. You can get in and out. Inside, obviously the kitchen. We got running water here, hot running water, which is kind of nice. They got a coffee maker, things like that. Electric stove top. One of the burners is toast, but all the others work very well. There's a little table in here for people to sit at and eat. There's a cabinet here. It's got some pantry items that they leave from sugar and soda, keep away from the rodents and things. Some charcoal stuff, aluminum foil, plasticware, filters for the coffee maker, things like that. Get this closed. It looks like a pretty new refrigerator, if not new. They had some comments in the book, the log book, that the old refrigerator was toast, water wasn't keeping cold and things like that. The ice was melting, stuff like that. So they fixed it with a new one. The logbook says the overseer is going to replace this burner here. He said he thought something was wrong with it, but it ends up being something else. It's no big deal whatsoever. I mean, you still got 3 good working burners. This is the cabinet, and of course, like all PATC stuff, they got plenty of cleaning supplies here. But you got dishes, an assortment of bowls, accessories, Bic lighters, and pots and pans are here. The normal stuff. Utensils. These are pot holders. Some towels for drying dishes, which I need to do some more here from last night. My puppy food, cutting boards. It's a very well lit area in here. They did good on the lighting. My puppy bowls are for Cisco. There's a nice tank vacuum here in case you need it, and I will use it later. I've already swept once, but it's not enough. There's a couple of small fans that were here for warmer weather, but I found that if I turn this on when I have the wood stove cranking, it moves the air around a little bit, and it helps out considerably. I think probably what a better option may be is to set it on top of this table here and then let it blow that way over and move it around the room. So this is the main area, the living room. They've got a nice assortment of games and things like that. They got a cassette CD player, and they have a good selection of cassettes and CDs. There are some old cabin log books, some information on the Little Orleans area, matches in the smaller container, and the wood bin. I had to get some paper. It was almost empty, so I threw some of my paper in there, and I put some chopped wood. There is a dry stuff, split stuff on the bottom. I'm just leaving this stuff here for now because it makes it easier for me to toss it in, because this is what I plan to burn today and tonight. Sticks, I threw a whole bunch of little twigs in there to help people get the fire going in the future. There's a neat little stove. It's got a pretty good sized firebox. This is simply the vent control. It's really nice and hot up here. It's not a cooking appliance, obviously, because you can't put anything right on top of the wood stove, but you have a range, obviously, so it's a non-issue. A lot of the cabins, the PATC cabins, you have to use the wood stove for cooking too if you want, which works, but I find that I end up, in order to make it hot enough for me to cook with, it's too hot for me to be in the bloody room. So I end up always bringing a small camp stove, and I just cook off of that and use the wood stove for heating. But this little thing here, it's marked as low and high, and all it simply does is on the low side, and as you see in there, it just simply moves the door for the vent there at the bottom here, see? So I usually keep it on low just to let it run. But it's got a good firebox here. Let me do this and crank it open here. As you can see. In fact, let me go ahead and stir that up just a tad while I'm sitting here. And there we go. Something's moving there now. All right. Doesn't take much to get it going again. So I guess this is the ash here at the bottom. This has got a grate in it, as you can see, so all the ash falls down below. I'm gonna try to get some out tomorrow before I leave, but I'm a little unsure how that works. The shovel's over here in the bucket, so I'll give that a go in the morning and see how that goes once I'm done with the fire for tonight and tomorrow morning. So a really nice picnic table, very well made. I've got my satellite radio, which I kind of like to have with me. I've got it hooked up so it'll run off of 12 volts off of my battery pack like my ham radio gear. So, but right now it is actually plugged into the wall. There's no sense in me messing with this. This is my amateur radio station. It's a real simple, basic station. I think most of you folks have seen this before. This one simply has it's a CF53 laptop, Panasonic Toughbook, a Pactor PTC 2E-EX modem, an LDG Z11 Pro 2 tuner. That one also has batteries in it, but currently I have it plugged in here. FT891, and this has been a really nice little, I got some ashes all over it. It's been a really nice little radio. I still got the plastic on it, but I've used this many times on my camping trips. This is what you got to deal with when you hook up portable and you want all this stuff running. Some of the power you can get away with not having the power on the tuner because it has built-in batteries, but everything else has got to be connected in one way or another. This is one of the advantages of having a go box where you don't have to plug all these in every single time, risk forgetting a cable or something like that. You know, it does work. I was just sending some Pactor mail. Let me go ahead and turn this off here. So this is the Go battery box that I use. Just got some extra cables here, and this has got a 70 amp hour lithium iron phosphate battery in it. The blue light in there, I think you might be able to see it. It's flashing repeatedly, so it's on a trickle charge. So what I've got going on is I don't have the panels deployed because I knew it was supposed to rain. It rained Monday, it rains Wednesday, so I went ahead and just plugged it into a power supply into the wall, and the power supply goes into the in port here on the side of the box that I made, and it simply just goes into the power gate, and that's what I run the radio and charge the battery with. It's got extra cables and things like that. It looks like here amp hours I've used, as it's cycling through, if I have my glasses on, 4.5. So it's not a big gig. The radio itself is plugged into, it's not plugged into the battery. This is plugged into the port that comes off of the Epic power gate. So it's actually running off the power gate, which in turn is running off the power supply. But the other two are coming off of the battery load. But it's a simple setup. It's really, once you get used to it, what's nice about this is Yesu put a diagram on the bottom to tell you what all the ports are. The 857 in my Go box, when I was using that, I had to make a chart and tape it in there so I'd have it to figure out what to plug in where. But this is pretty simple. So let me go ahead and back up here just a bit. So this is the living room. It's got the other door, window. I'm using for a little bit of ventilation. And the couch, Cisco sits here, so I cover everything. I don't want anybody to deal with any Cisco stuff, and I'm going to vacuum it before I leave. But this is where I sleep at night. I don't sleep upstairs. I could sleep upstairs, but the problem is the dog, and I'll show you why that's an issue. But all I do is I took one of the mattresses from upstairs, threw it down here, and I have one of my sleeping pads, my camping backpacking pads, and I just threw that on top. I throw the blanket on, this on top, blankets. I got 2 blankets here, and I just sleep in with a sleeping bag thrown over top of me, and it works fine. Cisco's bed, so I just lay it here. Cisco insists on sleeping with me, so, and he's been doing it since he was 4 months. I feel like it's a little late for me to try to stop breaking the habit. So if I go upstairs, he's going to try to go upstairs, and this is the problem with going upstairs. These are very narrow, reasonably steep stairs, and he would fall without a doubt. I mean, he's almost 12. He's got bad hips now, bad paw, and it'd be problematic for him. So what I've been doing at night to make sure he doesn't run up there is I've simply just slide in this chair over here, and there's no risk of that. So I'll go up there in just a minute. This is the shower room. There's no toilet in here. You got to use the crapper outside. But literally, I was here a day after they the overseer turn the water off. So it's okay, and you know, I'm used to not having a shower anyway, so it's not like I was planning on it. So this is not operating, but it's a nice little room. They got nice hooks, this linoleum type stuff here. Looks like they're just panels they put up here, but it's really nice. And for a cabin out here, it's pretty slick. So I'm sure it's got hot and cold water, just runs under the cabin, and a rubber ducky shower curtain for the shower itself. So seen one, seen them all. It's got nice shelves, outlets, and little window here. So let's run upstairs. So these steps are narrow, and it's not your average angle. So there's no way I was going to have Cisco run up and down these things. In fact, he's liable to follow me, so I'm going to put this behind me. You stay. I'm going to go up here and take a quick look-see. Now, if you look around, there is evidence of some mice, but another stereo there. I don't know if it works, but furniture has been arranged in this manner for safety reasons. Please do not move it. Thank you, overseer. So they don't want people to hit the railing, fall over. Kids would probably have a ball up here, but it's okay. So you got nice dressers. Let's see, they got cassettes up here, so I guess the stereo does work. A good bit of storage space, things like that. Throw rugs. Mirror. More of these mattresses. You could crash on here on the floor. You got one bed up there. Looks like they're doing a little bit of work here on the ceiling. Hooks, blankets, and that's the overseer's supplies. I whacked my head a couple of times here. As you can see the marks where other people have hit their heads. So you just gotta be a little careful if you're a tall person going down there. But nice spot. It's nice and warm up here. You know, if it didn't have Cisco, I'd be tempted to stay up here. But being down there on the floor has its advantages. I can almost literally roll over, crank up in the stove, and throw a couple pieces of wood in there, and crank it back, and roll back and go back to sleep. So I don't even have to get out of the sleeping bag. So it is kind of advantageous. I had a really nice visitor last night. I met Mr. Mike Crowley, if I'm pronouncing his name right. He's a hiker that's going from California to Delaware, and I met him down at the Paw Tunnel here on the Maryland side, and I met him down there on the Paw Tunnel there at the C&O Canal, and we talked, we hiked for a little bit, we both went through the canal together, and I invited him to come up here and spend the night, to get a night off the trail, have a nice warm bed, at least with a reasonable cushion. And he took me up on it. He showed up about 8:30, 8:45 last night, and we chatted for a good hour or so, and I knew he wanted to crash, let him come up here, and he slept up here last night. He said it's plenty warm, and this is kind of neat, because you can look right here, and there's my little buddy down there. So, paying for a bit of air movement. So this is kind of neat. This is a very nice spot. So now, see, I'm going to whack my head here. It's okay, buddy, you're doing good. So this is the inside, and that's it. There's not much else to it. These are a little steep, like I said, so you got to be careful coming and going. But other than that, it's a very nice setup they have here. I like that. No, buddy, you stay out of that. You stay out of that. That's the reason for the chair. This is good. You could actually maybe toss some clothes over here. You got wet clothes you want to dry. I've done that before, many a trip at their cabins. People have run lines over top of the wood stoves. That allows you to dry your socks and jackets and things like that, or warm them up for morning before you put them on. But that's pretty much it. That's the inside. So, truck and cabin. This is another building. Let's go up here and take a look-see here, and let's see what we got. I don't think this is necessarily a driveway, but looks like it's been cleared here for something. got water here. You can see the water's been coming through and damaging this. You got to be careful walking up here. I found a tick on Cisco. It's December 5, and I found a tick on them just a little bit ago. So they're still out and about, which is a bit disappointing. I thought out here in Western Maryland they would have had enough frosts or something to have killed them, but I guess not. There's not much in here. Old cinder block, guess it's a root cellar. I'm not sure where the property line is here, but according to the map, this should all be inside the PATC property. No, you stay, buddy. Paint, some other crap in there. Old barbecue grill, and clearly no trespassing. So I can suspect there's critters in there. Maybe it's a bats are living in there, which would be good. Oh, someone smashed out a window or something here. Old mower and windows, and whew, smells musty, musty, musty. Okay, there's the green, so I suspect that's a property boundary straight ahead there. I don't see any on this side, but the walking trail, biking thing is right through there. And then just on the far side of that is the road I drove in at, and you cross it right down here. So, yeah, the trees have smashed the bejeebus out of this thing. Yeah, I believe that to be in the unsalvageable category. Storage for old stuff, I suppose. Anyway. Oh well, perhaps. I don't know. I'm not sticking my hand in there to find out. Easy, buddy. Come on, you get off of that. Now I'm gonna have to go down, I think, the other side to get to where I want to go. I was thinking about maybe cutting through and getting to the road on the other side and actually showing the trip up, but I may have to walk down and come back. Let's see what we got here. Oh, well, I might be able to do that on the other side. Let's see over here. So there's the road in, there's the gate. So right in, there's the cabin, there's the old house. Might be able to get down here and walk down that. If you haven't had much water, there's deer poop everywhere. That's a surprise. All right, so this is probably the boundary here. Markers. Oh, yep, here's the PATC signs here. So I think what we're going to do is go down and then come back up. There's the road I came in on, and what I'll do is just run the video from there up the road to where we come in. So, and that's all I'll do with Cisco today because of his paw. Go ahead up. Good boy. Easy does it. Smart ass. There we go. It's only a matter of time there. There we go. Whew. All right. Okay, so this is the road in. The instructions for the cabin. The instructions for the cabin. As you come in here, they say something about this possibility of a gate here or something. There was no gate when I got here, so here it is here. I guess he used to have something across here. Keep gate locked at all times. Yeah, okay. There's not much going on here. So anyway, start to see PATC emblems there for property lines, and of course their mailbox looking thing. And there's the cabin there, and the old house is there. This part of the road's fine. There's no real issues. A couple of bumps and things. As long as you have reasonable ground clearance, you're not going to have any problems with it. What he didn't know, Mike, is when he came up that trail there, just another 25 yards is this cut path that comes right up here. Of course, there's a gate to the property. So if you had equipment and you wanted to come down from the cabin, I mean, it'd be no problem. I suppose you just park in here. It's the only thing up there is a PATC cabin. That's where you're at. And you could back in and pull that way and be able to get your equipment out if you wanted to go over there and fish or kayak on the top or something like that. Yeah, this bridge is got some things going on here. So driveway markers. My truck's a little snug making the turn. If I had my front cargo rack down, I probably would have hit one of these little things. Single lock, and up the road we go. There's a little bit of a drop off here on the side. So the instructions say to be careful of the snow and ice. Because you go over, you got a problem. But there's plenty of room here. I mean, I can get my huge truck through here with no issues. So. Good boy, you've done well, buddy. Dad needs to find your brush, but I'm not going to make you do it now. I want you to relax. Hey, hey, come on. Lots of birds on the feeder.